Welcome to part 2 of animating a bouncing ball. From this point, we'll continue on from where we were last video. The next thing I want to do is I want to start drawing my ball in that background. I might make my picture a little bit larger by Command plus. Well, that's quite large, perhaps not that big. Perhaps go down to, I'll type in a number here, I'll make it 150%. That's quite a nice size. And I'm going to use the oval tool. When you hover over any of these tools, you'll see that there's a letter that corresponds to selecting that tool. The other tool we'll be using is the free transform tool. There is also the selection tool, which is V, which selects a whole object. And there's a sub-selection tool, which we'll introduce you to later in the class or later on in upcoming lessons. So I'm going to select my oval tool, which is O. And when you do that, you'll see you get a series of properties coming up that is related to the tool that's active. Like any of these tools, when you hold it down, you've got some other options, but we're just going to go with the plain oval tool at this stage. What I don't want is to have some stroke around the ball that I'm drawing. And the stroke here is white. And there's a range of different stroke colours. You can see that you can choose any of those colours, and there's also different colour palettes. You can choose the default ones, default swatches. There's also a range of other colours. But what I'm going to do is go up here in the corner. It's a bit hard to see this. If I move this, perhaps I could move this. Can I move this? Well, up in the corner, in the top right-hand corner, you can't really see this in this movie, but there's a square with a red stripe across it, and that, so you get this thing here. So that designates the stroke colour is none. I'm happy to leave my fill colour as blue, and I'm going to now draw a circle. Now with the circle, when you draw with the oval tool, it'll draw ovals and all sorts of things. But undo then, Command Z. But I want to draw a perfect circle, so I'm going to hold the Shift button down and go from roughly in this corner here and draw a circle around about that size. With my selection tool hitting V, I can just move it up a little bit and across. That looks pretty good though. Now I'm going to select that again, and this time I'm going to hit Function F8 or F8 on the keyboard, and I'm going to turn that into a symbol. And I'm going to call it ball. Get used to working in symbols. You can actually have different types of symbols, buttons, graphics. We're going to stick with movie clips. The advantage is that you can make a movie clip that allows you to make a movie within a movie, which again we will cover within this course. And I'll go OK. Now I've got my ball into my first position, and it's simply now I can create another frame. I can click into the new frame and go insert, timeline, keyframe or whatever. But the shortcut is to go back to that first frame and hit F6 or Function F6 on your Mac. It will duplicate that frame as a keyframe. You'll notice that it's got a black dot in the actual frame here down the bottom. And when I move it, I can put it into the next spot, and it sits there quite happily. Now, at the moment, I can't see what was in the previous frame. I'm going to go down the bottom here, and there's a key here called onion skins, which is, you can see me hovering over it. If you hover over it, it'll say onion skin. The menu, or the hint is hidden on this image, but if I click on onion skins, you'll see I get a set of changes across the top here, and I can go across a range of things. But what it does do is it shows me where the previous image was. Now, if I hit Function F6 again, it's created another keyframe, and I'm going to click my symbol in this new keyframe and simply move it down once more. And you can see the onion skinning allows you to see the background. If I go back to the second frame, I might be able to put that down just a fraction and go back and have a look, and that looks pretty good.